It is Thursday, December 19th, and I know I haven't been posting for a while. Work was just crazy, but I'm officially on break. I have about 2 weeks off, and I'm excited to rest and relax and recharge for the new year. Being a teacher is tough and it's very draining. So with that aside, I did make my David's tea this morning. It's nice and warm. It smells delicious. Let's try it. Very delightful. So I have been struggling to read lately. I read a really good book, 5 stars, couldn't put it down, like literally read it in like maybe 2 days. And then I was struggling, well, what to pick up next because it's nearing the end of the year. And that is the hardest thing. Like, when something's ending or something's beginning, it's always hard to like pick what you want to read like towards the end of the year, because maybe it will be like a favorite of the year or something that you meant to read earlier in the year. I don't know, you just want to cram all the books in, and then at the beginning of the year you're like, well, what do I start with? So this time of year for reading, especially for me, is like hard to pick what I want to read, stay engaged with what I want to read, and so forth. But I thought I would do a reading vlog, and I'm gonna do a reading vlog of Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year because I've loved every single one of her books except for one, and I think I gave it 3 stars possibly, so it wasn't like terrible. I hated it. I'd never read her again, obviously. And some of her books have been my favorite books of the year, or at least like in the top 3, top 5. So I really was excited about this, and I pre-ordered it, so I got it right on release day. And I think the day after that I finished the book I was currently reading, so I jumped into this. So it came out on like December 10th, I believe, and I think I picked it up on December 11th, and it's now the 19th, and I'm only this far into it, 34 pages. So it's been busy at work, and this story is kind of slow moving. Also, the font is so small. Guys, I just finished chapter 5 of my book, so I'm still not that far in. Oh my gosh. What? I was not expecting that. I want to discuss it with you guys so bad. If you've read it, you know. There's been an accident, and it's not quite what I was expecting. Crazy. Oh my gosh. Possibly awkward angle, but I wanted to talk to you about my read, Regretting You. I'm fully invested in the story now. Some of the things are hitting close to home, even though I can't relate. So I don't know. It's just kind of, it definitely took a different direction than I thought it was going to, but I'm loving the direction it took. I'm almost 50% of the way through. I'm on page 149, and it is a 354 page book. About to jump back into my book, which I am really enjoying. So the chapters alternate between Morgan and Clara. Morgan's the mom, Clara's the daughter, and there's definitely been some things happened that I definitely wasn't expecting, even from the synopsis. Maybe some of you will have seen them coming from a mile away, but I like to go into Colleen Hoover books just kind of like expect the unexpected, because I don't really read too much into them. But I like both of their chapters. But sometimes in books like this, you can like one chapter over another, but I'm enjoying both equally, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I just can't wait to see where it goes. Loving it. Hey friends, it is much later at night. It is 8:15 p.m. The update on Regretting You. I am on page 210. I'm loving it. I will read more tonight, like before bed and stuff, but we're watching some episodes of Outlander on Netflix. Charlie just came in. She has on her little jacket here because it's so cold. It's like 26. There you are. All right. No, you can't play tug with it. Good morning. Happy Friday. And I'm just gonna sit down and share an update with you guys. I didn't read much more last night, but I am kind of flying through it now. I'm on page 241. Right there, I'm using this bookmark that I got from the World Wildlife Organization in the mail. Sorry, it was like glaring. It's like this. I have a penguin one, and now I have the panda one with the snowflakes. I just thought it's like Christmassy, wintry, whatever. Hi friends. I bet you can tell I just woke up. So I'm nearing the end of Regretting You, and it's so good. It's predictable, yeah, but like it's still so good. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. It's 3:24 p.m. I only have like 40 pages left, and then I'll be finished. Yeah, it's really good. Hi friends, good morning. It is Saturday morning. It is 8:41 a.m. because I was only reading one book, Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. But I'm here to share my thoughts. I actually wrote some down in the other room and I don't have them with me. So I'm going to do my best to chat with you about this book. So of course, this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year because of the author. Much going into it, but I knew that Colleen Hoover is one of my like favorite authors. So this one is the same as her books and different because we do have a YA main, like there's two main characters, a mother and a daughter. And in the beginning, I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. Let me just say that. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. If I were to rate it any lower, it will probably be because it was a little bit confusing and a little bit it dragged and it was uninteresting in the beginning, but I think that's because I had it for like, I only read like 30 some pages, and that took me like several days to read just because I was so exhausted last week with work that I was just like reading a couple pages and then crashing, so I didn't really have time to like get myself into the story. Also say the reason why I would have rated it a little bit lower is because it was quite predictable. After the initial like thing that happens in the story, it's very predictable. You know who's going to end up together. You basically know that there's going to be conflicts and they're going to be resolved and so forth. So I do think it was a little bit slow in the beginning, partially due to me, partially due to it started 17 years prior to the rest of the book. The first chapter starts with like kind of 4 characters as they're teenagers going to a party, and then the rest of the novel is alternating perspectives of a mother and daughter. So you have a mother's perspective and then you have a daughter's perspective. So half of the story is told like from a YA perspective, and that's very different from her other novels. So definitely think about that if you are looking for just like an adult Colleen Hoover book. This is definitely, it feels more young adult than it does like new adult or adult. Basically it's like a love story told from a mother and daughter's perspective while they're going through one of the most difficult periods of their lives. There are a couple of content warnings, I would say. I'm going to have them listed in the description box all the way at the bottom of this video. A lot of people have complained that some content warnings, trigger warnings, are spoilers, and I think it's important to include that, especially books that could be triggering to other readers. So I'm going to leave content warnings in the description box of this video all the way at the bottom. That way if you really do want to pick it up, then you have that there that you can look for the content warning, trigger warning, and if you're not interested you can just still enjoy it for what I'm talking about. I'm a terrible annotator. I wish I was better. I have annotated in the past, but I don't like religiously annotate or anything like that. I wish I did, because there were some just really good lines throughout here, and I really want to like read it again and possibly like highlight those lines, underline those lines, because they just really meant a lot to me personally. And the last thing I will say, it was quite unexpected for it to be as funny as it was. I was laughing out loud. Like I was in my bedroom and my husband was in the living room, and I was just laughing out loud, and I had like my AirPods in and I was just laughing so hard, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, it's my story." So yeah, it was definitely funny. It was heartwarming, a little predictable, but it was just one of those stories that you can like relax into and enjoy the ride and like fall in love with the characters and the story and them getting over a terrible loss. So that's my final thoughts. I'll try to talk about it more in my wrap up at the end of the month, but yeah, I really loved it. Rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I will continue to pick up Colleen Hoover books. I actually have some on my shelves that I haven't read by her, and I hope to get to those like maybe in the new year. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video soon. Bye.